The courtroom was silent except for the faint ticking of the clock mounted on the wall. Clara sat in the last row, her hands folded neatly on her lap, her gaze fixed on the man standing trial. Vincent Hale, her husband of 12 years, wore the same expression he always had, calm, arrogant, and utterly convinced that he was untouchable. The prosecutor's voice cut through the stillness. "Mr. Hale, are you denying that you transferred company funds into your personal offshore accounts?" Vincent's lips curled into that familiar half-smile Clara knew so well. "I deny everything. I built that company. Every cent I spent was mine to use." The gallery murmured, reporters scribbled furiously, and Clara lowered her eyes. Her heart was steady. She had been waiting for this moment, not the trial, but the unraveling of Vincent Hale, for years. The beginning of the end. Clara had once believed in Vincent. He was charming, ambitious, and persuasive, the kind of man who could convince anyone to follow him. When they married, he promised her the world, security, love, and a family. What she received instead was manipulation, cruelty, and betrayal. Vincent's empire grew, but so did his temper. He controlled everything, her clothes, her friends, even the food she ate. When she spoke up, he dismissed her with a cold laugh. "You're nothing without me, Clara. Remember that." For a long time, she did. But the day she discovered his affair with his assistant, a woman half her age, something inside her shifted. Rage did not come immediately. Instead, there was a sharp clarity, like a blade honed in fire. She realized she had lived as his shadow for too long. If she were to break free, she would need to be cunning. The plan. Clara began collecting. Not jewelry, not clothes, evidence. She studied Vincent's accounts, memorized passwords he carelessly left scrawled on sticky notes. She photographed documents, recorded conversations. She became invisible in her own home, a ghost moving silently, gathering secrets. Every insult he hurled, every humiliation he inflicted became fuel. She endured it all with a patient smile, waiting for the day she could strike. Her opportunity arrived when Vincent involved her, unknowingly, in one of his schemes. He needed her signature on a document to shift funds through a charity she managed. Clara signed it, but not before making a copy. She hired a private investigator, a woman who had once been a forensic accountant, and together they pieced together the empire of fraud Vincent had built. But Clara was not content with simply exposing him. No, she wanted him ruined. The trap. She fed the evidence carefully, first to the authorities, then to the media. Anonymous tips, leaked emails, cryptic envelopes. Vincent was too arrogant to suspect her. When the federal agents came knocking, he laughed, calling it a misunderstanding. When his investors pulled out, he swore it was temporary. Clara played her part perfectly, the loyal wife standing by her husband. She attended the hearings, dabbing her eyes with a silk handkerchief, whispering encouragement in his ear. Behind the mask, she was savoring every moment. Vincent's fall was slow, deliciously slow. His company crumbled, his reputation shattered, and his mistresses disappeared like rats from a sinking ship. The man who had once controlled everything now found himself scrambling to save scraps. The confrontation. The night before the verdict, Clara visited him in the holding cell. He looked thinner, his tailored suits replaced by prison gray, but his arrogance still lingered. "Clara," he sneered, "you have to get me out of this. Tell them you were the one who managed the accounts. They'll believe you. You always were the quiet one, the obedient one." Clara stepped closer, her heels clicking against the concrete floor. She leaned down until her lips were near his ear. "I was obedient, Vincent," she whispered. "But you made one mistake. You taught me how to hide in the shadows. You made me invisible, and invisible women can do anything." His eyes widened. For the first time, she saw fear break through his mask. Clara smiled. The verdict. The next morning, the jury found Vincent Hale guilty on all counts: fraud, embezzlement, money laundering. The judge sentenced him to 30 years without parole. The press swarmed the courthouse, eager for a statement from the devastated wife. Clara stepped into the sunlight, her black dress fluttering in the breeze. Microphones crowded her face. "Mrs. Hale, what do you have to say about the verdict?" She looked directly into the cameras, her eyes steady, her voice calm. "Justice has been served." And with that, she walked away, not as Vincent Hale's wife, not as a victim, but as a woman who had reclaimed her power. Epilogue. Months later, Clara sat in her new home by the sea, sipping tea as the sun dipped below the horizon. The world believed she had started over with nothing, but that wasn't entirely true. Hidden in an account Vincent never discovered were funds she had siphoned off during her quiet investigation, money she now used to build a foundation for women escaping abusive relationships. Her revenge had not been just about Vincent. It had been about every woman who had been silenced, controlled, or dismissed. Clara had taken back her life, but she had also built something greater from the ashes of her pain. And somewhere, locked away in a concrete cell, Vincent Hale would spend the rest of his life haunted by the truth. The woman he thought was weak, the woman he tried to erase, was the one who destroyed him. Because no one forgets a woman's revenge.